I'm Naser Ahmed. I'm the co-founder of Tansik investment group of company. The flagship company Postgate was started in the year 2000. Today we are in 2023. We have about 20 entities under the umbrella of Tansik investment. Each entity is specialized in the one discipline of landscaping. We have operations in Oman, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. We are one of the leading landscaping companies in Dubai. For example, we have executed the landscaping for the tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa, and the largest mall in the world, Dubai Mall.
Mr. Naser, thank you very much for welcoming us here today on Voices of the Future. You know, people like yourselves, it's a real privilege to talk to you because you came here, you started from almost nothing, and then you built something which is great. And quietly, you built it over time. You mentioned that you came here 38 years ago. What was it like then when you first came here?
My first job was in Saudi Arabia. I landed there in 85, and there was no one to take me from the airport to the office or a camp, and I was completely lost. Somebody came to pick me up, and I was in a no man's land. Everything was new for me, and before that I had traveled only once. That was to Singapore. Culturally, it was very much similar to what was in India. It was a cultural shock for me.
Right. Let's go back to your early days of your life and how you started developing your life. And when you were young, can you remember somebody who genuinely inspired you and why?
Absolutely. My paternal grandmother's brother, his name is Mr. Mahbub Khan, late Mahmud Khan, and he was referred to in Nellore as Saudagar Mahbub Khan, supposed to be the richest man in Nellore district. Mm-hmm. And at that time, he was owning about more than 100 persons, and he was famous for operating the transport of the people to all the districts, including a very premier route called Chennai.
You know, you mentioned also about in the early days how you learned small things and how you understood money and how you understood your father's business.
Yes.
Can you share that with us?
Sure, very much. My father's side are all business people. They are educated, but the focus is more on business, less on education. Whereas my mother's side is more on education and less on business. So my two maternal uncles, one is a veterinary doctor and then a dentist, they insisted my parents that I should go to English medium school.
Right.
So that's where I picked up communication skills, and also the in a small town like that, we were one of the 30 students in a town of about 5 lakhs.
Right.
Okay, that was it. And while I was studying, my father and his partnership with his elder brother, we had a cycle business.
Right.
And they used to sell cycle and cycle spare parts. In all my spare time coming from the school back, I used to go to shop, and initially I was counting the coins, collection. This first tender was mostly in coins, less in note. 100 rupee note was a big deal for that time. Mm-hmm. So my job was to stack all the coins, count the money, and then give it to my father's elder brother. He used to take it in the evening, that was his duty. I used to do that. While doing that, they got involved in depositing the cash in the banks and collecting the documented bill of ladings, going to a transport company, again making sure that the goods are delivered to the shop. I was in charge of that.
You know, these little learnings that you're talking about, they probably help you a lot in terms of where you are today. What were the things, you know, normally we go to school and learn geography and history and this, that, and the other. But what you learn in life about counting coins and looking at ball bearings and those kind of things. What kind of messages do young people who will watch something like this, what can they see as the inspiration from learning with your hands and understanding business?
I think it's very important thing is to learn about the product, what you are selling. While I was doing all these things, I also learned to fit a complete bicycle. Okay, if somebody gives me a spare part, I can sit with the help of one person. I can fit the complete cell cycle.
Yeah.
I gain the knowledge of each and every part and how to assemble it and make it run, including the alignment of the wheels. That gives me a thing. If you don't do anything, you should go to the bottom of it. Just don't go and sell anything in the market without knowing what it actually is.
You know, when I was first learning computers, and I was also learning some software stuff. So looking after customers, I used to get on the phone and then work. So one of the ways I trained myself is I used to have the screen in front of me and then I switched it off. So effectively I had nothing in front of me. And I had to visualize it in my head and then be able to see it. So as far as I was concerned, I was talking to the customer and the entire screen was in my head. And that technique basically, you know, I have a good memory, but that gave me the vision to be able to handle customer relationships and things better. It was very, very natural. So I just wanted to share my story back with you. As you grew up, any other things? You said you went to university and stuff. What were the kinds of things that got you excited, got you happy? What were you passionate about when you were young?
I was always passionate about doing something very big. I want to be known who I am. Okay, somebody referred to me as somebody, and that should come through good ethics. My maternal uncle, he taught me. He is my mentor.
Yeah.
I learned everything about leading a life in a very noble way from him.
Yeah.
How to treat your friends, how to treat your children, how to treat your relatives.
Yeah.
And that gave me a lot of inspiration. Okay, while you want to do something, but you have to maintain this good relationship with everybody.
Let's bring you to your business in the UAE. When did you set it up, and what inspired you to set up a landscaping business? Because you're an engineer and you've done various other things, but you ended up in landscaping. What was your thinking at that time?
Well, I never thought I'm going to be a landscaping engineer, to be honest.
Okay.
When I had an option of choosing botany in my pre-university, I completely ignored that subject. I was never interested in botany. But as I graduated, I had two elective subjects. One is the structural engineering and other is irrigation. I always wanted to pursue structural engineering. In those days, there was too much demand for civil engineers in India. So there were vacancies in R&B, Roads and Building Department, and Irrigation and Power Department. But unfortunately, when my turn came, there were no vacancies in roads and buildings. Because of my economical condition, I had to accept a job as an irrigation engineer. I worked in Nagarjuna Sagar Right Canal 4 years. And then by virtue of that experience, I was chosen as an irrigation engineer in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
After that, I came to Dubai. And then again, I was looking for a job to pursue, go back to India in the real estate sector. I got a job in rain irrigation at a company in Alain. I worked for 2 years. Then I said, enough is enough. I want to go back to India. Then I got a job again in Dubai as a project manager for the largest landscaping project, Safa Park. And that was the turning point. Then I thought, this is my destiny. 3 times I wanted to go back as a civil engineer to practice the profession. I studied for, but Allah is directing me to go to this direction.
You know, it is very funny you say that, because we train for X, but we end up doing Y. And I think in your example, that has also happened. When I look at your business, I am a person who can sometimes be impatient. I want to see results quickly. I want to see things happening fast. And a lot of people in this world are actually doing it in exactly that way. The business that you're in, you have to build slowly, step at a time, and you have to see the whole thing grow. I mean, you can develop the structure as any engineer, but the whole landscaping, when you look at the beautiful work that we've done, which we will talk about in a second, how did you adjust your mind to build things slowly and accumulate it over time?
I always had a plan to start a landscaping company in Dubai. In 1994, when I completed the Safa Park project, there were not many projects here. So I prepared a business plan with my limited knowledge. And then I started talking to some of my local friends. And those days, even I went to Al-Abdur Engineering. I said that we can put together a joint venture company from a Saudi company called Rabia and this company. And they were saying that there are not many projects here. We are not interested. So then I went to from Dubai local friends, and then did not show much interest. I gave it up. I went to Bahrain to work for 2 years, and then I came back. I worked for His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Engineer's office. I worked in the construction of landscaping for Jumeirah Beach Resort. And in the year 2000, after I leaving the engineer's office, again I prepared a business plan. I approached three of my friends. One is my current partner, Ahmed Abdul Rahim. He came forward to say that together we'll start this company. That is.
In the last 25 years, in the life of the company, can you identify some of the great projects you've done? I know one or two of them myself, but please share with yourself.
If I start listing, of course, Burj Khalifa landscaping is the most prestigious project we have executed.
Right.
And while our office is located in Business Bay, very close to, we can see most of the towers around Burj Khalifa here.
Yes.
If you go around looking for the towers, we have done more than 60% of the towers here for this. We have executed the landscaping for that, including the Dubai Mall, the largest shopping mall in the world, and Palace Hotel, Address Downtown, Address Boulevard, Address Dubai Mall,
Right.
Sky View, Fountain View, and there are many towers, I can't name them.
You know, it's interesting. I know Amar very well. I know the chairman. He is the most demanding person in the world, and that's why he has produced so much quality. Working with people like that, particularly in an iconic building like Burj Khalifa, what were the challenges that you had? Because it was just something so new and so fresh, and it was happening at a time when Dubai was going through a lot of difficulties also. What were your experiences when you were doing that?
I will tell you what are the challenges, but not the difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah. Difficulties were because that was coincided with the recession.
Yes.
2008. A job project was awarded to the end of the 2008. We were supposed to complete in 2009.
Yeah.
We completed it on 5th January 2010.
Yes.
Okay. The biggest challenge we had is, as soon as the project was awarded to us, the client came with a request. They want to change the consultant. They want to change the design of the project completely. The original consultants, architects were crackers from Dubai, one of the best consultants. I don't see anything wrong. But chairman had reason different vision. He brought a consultant from San Francisco by name SWA, and they showed me a A3 size drawing. They said, this is the new plan. We had to execute as per this plan, but with the old contract. It was 1 day old.
Okay.
That is how we started.
Yeah.
When we executed the project, and we imported 1,000 containers of granite, that is the hardscape of the project. That way it was challenging. And there was no other project in Dubai was executed such a large quantity of granite. But one time for one project, we did all the whole 10% of the work we did in first year. The project got delayed by 1 year because of the recession and other problems. We completed 90% of the project in the following year. That was it. I don't think that we'll get a chance, opportunity to work like a project like that. But finally we completed. That is why I'm telling.
Yeah.
It was a big challenge put to us, and we accomplished it.
And you know, those kinds of challenges is what makes a company and what makes a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And after that, I'm sure you were stronger.
Yes.
So, Mr. Naser, you have opened many companies and subsidiaries within your organizations. It's a very impressive organization. Why did you open so many new ones?
We started this company on two very fundamental principles between me and my partner. I am responsible for operations, and he will be responsible for banking, lobbying, and finance. And then we said that we will do this picture with 100% ethics and morals. We will not deviate from that. Okay, that's the reason. And by keeping that reputation, starting the company, and we always valued our word, what we commit to the client. When we commit to client, we will complete a project in so and so time, and we had to deliver it. Quality is relative to subjective as per the specifications. The specifications are very high standard. We want to deliver everything as per the specifications. And in those days, when landscaping company means they only used to execute soft landscaping and irrigation. There was no other discipline added to that. For water features, there used to be separate companies, swimming pools and water features. For lighting, there used to be MEP company, and hard landscaping most of the time executed by the main contractor. We wanted to change this trend in the market. We want to be a one-stop solution from the day one. Even in my business plan, when I prepared, I included 5 activities in that: soft landscaping, irrigation, hard landscaping, water features, and lighting. So one of the first major job we executed is for the Dubai Media City Phase 3. There was a lot of natural stone work involved in that. We subcontracted that work to a contractor. And this gentleman has a good friend of mine. I gave him a job for whatever reasons, believing in it. He completely let me down. And we were ridiculed by the client, by the consultant. And that day I decided I can't rely, which is the 40% of the value of the contract. I can't rely on the subcontractor. We should have our own supply chain. That is how, if you look back at most of the companies, that was the main reason why we started, to keep our commitments.
Dubai is known for many things. It's known for speed. It is known for innovation. It is known for building some new beauty because we are in a desert. So the word that comes to me is innovation. How do you innovate on an ongoing basis in what is a very traditional business?
You also mentioned about speed. I want to tell you one instance.
Yes.
Okay. And we have set the trend in the market that the contractor who can execute their work in the shortest possible time.
Okay.
If you recall, in the year 2003-4, Siemens building in Dubai Internet City. That project was a challenge for us. We know the client, we know the consultant. They called us, they said, I have 35 days to execute this project, 5 million dirham worth of project. Mr. Gerhard Schroeder, he wants to come and inaugurate. And of course, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed will be there. So I will give you clearance whatever you want, but you have to execute. I have trust in you, you must do that. And trust me, Mr. Tariq, we accepted the challenge. 5 days we got the approval for all the materials. I completed the project in 35 days. And by virtue of that, our chairman got an opportunity to take a photo with when His Highness Sheikh Mohammed came to inaugurate the office. Mr. Gargavi has cited him. He is the local gentleman who has done this job. So he got the opportunity to take a picture with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed.
You know, all my life, in my biggest achievements, when somebody asks me to do something impossible, I smile. Because if you can do the impossible, then everything else is easy after that. And I think that energy that you do when you sort of say, yes, I will do it, and you go out there, it inspires a lot of people around you. How many people do you employ now?
Altogether, we have about more than 6,500 people, about 1,000 in the staff category, and 5,500 skilled and unskilled people.
What are the most important characteristics that you see in a person when you're hiring them?
Well, in the labor category, we can't do much. We go by the skill. We conduct the tests back home in India, and then I don't get involved in that. We have a HR and admin team that they take care of it. But in all the senior staff, when I employ, I look into the integrity, loyalty, and teamwork. These are the 3 things that we look into it.
And how do you measure integrity? What are the thoughts?
80% of the staff that we employ, they come through a reference. They are known people. Some of them are my friends who have been working. I know them, and then I give them the opportunity to go them. So we know the history of the employee while working for others. When we deal with the people, whether the consultant or the client, how they have performed. So with that reference we employ, more than just going by the LinkedIn or advertising in this job.
So building trust for you is through references and through reputation that you build over time. Because trust to me is a very important thing because
absolutely,
because that's the core of everything you do. Moving forward, sir, if you look at the next, say, 10 years or so, what are your big plans that you may have? What are the thoughts that you have on that?
Mr. Tariq, this is a coincidence we are talking today. my team, I delegated the full responsibility of the operations of the company to my second level management from 2019. So I am no more involved in the front end. I take care of from the back end, implementing the ERP system. Just now my team came back from Saudi Arabia. I am looking at a potentially about 500 million dirham worth of projects we can sign in next year. So that is the opportunity. I think what happened, Dubai has become saturated. Too many contractors, too many players, less project. There it is inverse, it is too many projects, less contractors. I see a big opportunity for us in Saudi Arabia.
So it's interesting you say that you're handing it off to your next team, next level team. Two questions: how did you train them? And more importantly, and a more difficult question, is how did you feel when you handed it over?
Actually, training it's everyday exercise for me. Every day in the evening, I have one side TV screen, the other side the whiteboard. So that is where I teach my people when they come there all the technical things. I draw them on pictures, drawings. I explain to them. I give them the program, sequence, and everything. That's everyday exercise. Right. Whoever has worked with me, so he must be spending at least on the average 1 to 2 hours every day with me in the office. So teaching has been, I was never a teacher in the college. I never did the practice, but for the past 10 years, that's what I have been doing it.
Right.
Okay. So they know everything. And the other question you asked about trust.
No, I mean, trust is done. Now, the second question that I had was that as you are handing over something that you built, the baby, it's like the baby going to university. You have to let them go.
It did not happen like that. There was a transition 1 year period.
Okay.
It did not happen like that. One day, suddenly, I did not cut off the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
So practically, it doesn't happen. People say that.
Yeah.
But I will call it off, you take over. No, it did not happen then. I accompanied them for all the meetings, weekly meetings. I accompanied them. I just backed them up. I was sitting there and let them people talk. If they are failing in some way, they are responding with that. I used to step in and respond. That is how they learn from us.
So you've nurtured them, you've coached them, you've guided them, you've trained them, all those are things. I was trying to reach what I would call a different emotion, and that is that when founders, particularly founders who created something from nothing, when they are passing on, it is a very emotional moment as opposed to just a practical moment. And the reason I'm asking this is that people like yourselves have to create a succession plan. Many family companies, many groups do not have a succession plan. So I'm just wondering how you have done that and the successful execution of that.
Well, as far as the emotions are concerned, passing on the responsibility, I didn't have that sensitivity. Because the people who are working with me, they have a 23-year-old company, they have been here with me for 21 years.
Right.
So it was very natural for them to do that. It's not a natural succession, but it is succession passed on to the those are the most eligible for that. So that's what we did. And going forward, we are thinking of having a corporate governance where we give the responsibility of board of directors, and then I'll still remain at the helm of affairs, and I'll be acting as an advisor. That is what we are planning.
Excellent. Any advice to young people who are now joining, who have different kind of thinking and different kind of integrity and different kind of and one of your important values is loyalty. And you said a lot of people have been there for 21 years. The younger people coming through are not like that, or are they?
No. We are the only company in Dubai who recruit young engineers from India as trainees. Until even last year also we recruited about 40 students, young fresh graduates from college. We bring them here, and most of the time what happens is only 15 to 20% of the people they retain. 20% as soon as within 6 months they found to be unfit, either we fire them or they resign and go. But other 40-50% they are not enterprising. And them, it's okay, we continue with it. When the opportunity comes, it changes. But this 20% we retain them. We identify the talent, we give them promotions, we sit with them, talk to them, what they will become after 3 years, after 5 years. We show them the example of the seniors working in the company, how did they join us, and what they are. A gentleman who joined here as a site engineer, he's our director in 20 years. That vision we show them.
Yeah. Dubai is getting hotter. The world is getting hotter. We need to make it green. And you obviously have green fingers, so you can make things green. What are the big things that you might be doing with the Dubai government, with other things like that, to make Dubai sustainable and make it green? Because these buildings that we look at all around us, they're too hot, all glass and reflecting glass, and they're not very climate friendly. So greenery is the only thing that is going to save this country in our future. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, as a profession, my practice, by default, we are the people who are greening the city.
Yes.
I've seen this city when I came here. Sheikh Zayed Road was a barren road.
Yes.
With few trees on the road.
Yeah.
And now you see a lot of greenery here. If you look at it, we have contributed to Dubai city. And in terms of maintenance, what we are doing, we maintain about 1,500 acres of landscape in Dubai, by a company. And then, if you look at all the major prestigious projects, we have executed more than 50% of it, projects. And we have a nursery, 70 hectares of nursery here, and we keep a stock of more than 100,000 trees. And every day is our passion. Personally, it is my passion for the greenery. I'm a civil engineer, but I have devoted so much of time for this.
Because I think, from my understanding as a futurist, we are on Voices of the Future, and I'm looking into the future with you as an expert, is more than 30-40% of land in Dubai, for Dubai to survive all the heat and so on, has to go green. And a lot of what I see out there, the grass that we grow and things like that, is very heavy on water and water consumption. So at the moment we can desalinate and so on, the water. But going forward, we need to have things that are more sustainable, new plants. I mean, is this the ideal plant for this region or not? How are you making those decisions for the future?
First, the water for the irrigation, as you mentioned,
Yes.
it is not totally from the desalination water. Dubai is the most sustainable city. Almost every drop of water we use for the domestic, that is treated, and there is a pipeline running all across the city,
Okay.
a 1.2 meter diameter. So all the streetscape, what you see here in Dubai, golf courses, it is irrigated by treated sewage effluent water. It is the most sustainable city it is.
Okay.
Dubai government is so proactive in all these things. They are doing it. Of course, the independent communities also, whatever they have, that EMAR they are developing. Every community has a TSE plant, water treatment plant. Again, that water also is recycled, used for the streetscape. Only for the villas, individual villas, private villas, they are using the Deva water. That is the one. On the other hand, on the greenery, the Dubai government, if you go around looking for any city in the GCC country, the most greenest city is the Dubai. If you give a score of Dubai 100, there is no city equivalent even to 50% of it. So the Dubai government is indirectly creating the opportunity for us to contribute to make Dubai green.
Yeah. Some of the new technologies of the future that are happening are hydroponic farming, vertical farming, doing it in smaller areas and so on, perhaps in buildings. Maybe we need some of these in all of the buildings that we've got with glass and so on to make it solar driven and so on. What is your view on hydroponic farming or vertical farming and so on? Is that a good way forward?
When talking about vertical farming, you can have a vertical garden in terms of ornamental or in terms of agriculture, both.
Both. Yeah.
Okay, we are not so much into vertical farming,
Yes.
organic vegetable production or something, but we are very much into green walls and all the vertical farming for decarbonization, for the carbon emission and all those things. You can see in our office when you enter,
Yes, I saw that.
that is also a vertical garden.
Yeah.
That is the 8-year-old garden, vertical city. And we have done many vertical gardens in Dubai, green walls, vertical walls, to facades of the building we are promoting. Instead of going for the complete glass, 25% of the glass can be converted to a green wall, which can be neutralize this effect. Of course, these regulations have to come from government authorities to implement them. But we have the technology, we know how, and we promote one of the best products in the world.
So how do you see yourself in the next, say, 10 to 20 years? What will be making you happy? And how do you see both you, yourself, as an individual in your company and around you? What does it look like in 2040?
Tariq, as far as my individual is concerned, Alhamdulillah, I'm an accomplished person. I don't have anything, I'm not practicing my profession for money. Now I want to contribute to the landscape industry, establish the good standards, good quality work. Client gets the best value for the money what we are doing it. So I always educate people, go and give the advice to the consultant to have the best practices, improve the quality of the landscaping, introduce new products, conserve the energy. Like when it comes to you are specifying the stones, we look at the SRI.
Yeah.
That's very important. Don't look only for the aesthetics. So I would like to contribute to the industry with my knowledge, with my experience, what I have gained. And as you said that a new doctor is better than an old patient. I'm a 40-year-old patient. Yeah.
If you were to, my final question, which I always ask everybody on Voices of the Future, and you are here, and we are celebrating all of your achievements and things
Thank
in
you.
the future. And my question is that if you leave a message in a bottle and you throw it in the ocean, and some kid picks it up and finds the bottle in 10 years' time, what will be your message into the future from the past? The young person picks it up, takes it, opens it up, and looks at it and says, "This is what Mr. Naser said." What do you think would be your advice to them?
Okay, you have to establish what I see in the young generation now. They want to achieve success in the shortest time. Okay, I would rather tell them success comes with the compounding of the time. You work hard, and after a time, when you get to maturity, success will have a compounding effect. If you don't have that patience, you will be running around knocking everywhere.
Wonderful message. Is there anything that I may have missed, Mr. Naser, that you would like to say that I didn't ask the question?
Well, you asked me a question, I didn't answer you that question about the sustainable species of plants,
Yeah.
what we are doing it. For Expo 2020, when the whole of the theme of this Expo was the sustainability. So we help them to identify the sustainable species of plants for the whole Expo garden. If you look at the whole public realm, and all those planted were sustainable. Many of it were supplied by from our nurseries.
Mr. Naser, thank you very much. You have been very open,
pleasure.
you have been very kind, and you've given us a lot of what I call the wisdom of simplicity, the wisdom of understanding from your teachers. And these are the kinds of values that we need to go into the future, the values of integrity, the value of loyalty, the value of hard work. These kinds of things, these I still believe are the things that whatever technology and stuff comes in, these are things that are going to survive. Sir, thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.